Okay. Uh, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So yesterday we tried to understand that, like, how to pass the values dynamically. The query is, this is the SQL query. So we just use the question marks for that value place, like in a placeholder. So, like, this is the first one parameter, second, third, fourth parameters. Like, we have set the data dynamically by using pstmt dot set string, set string, set date, set, like that, by using set xxx methods. Okay. So, so here, whenever you want to set the data dynamically, you can set that, so that you no need to pass that values directly. The query will be the same, and the data we will set it. So if you want to insert the multiple records, let's say, so uh, you can make it in for loop. So for loop you can set the data, I mean, prepare the statements, multiple prepared statement. So like that, you can set the data. So mm, here, the execute update method is going to return, so integer. So that integer is nothing but how many records got affected in the database. That is the count it will show. That Okay. So this execute update method, so we are going to use the, like, insert case, update case, and delete case also. Suppose if you want to update the data, you can change the query here. Like, yesterday we talked about this, right? The queries. So what are the queries we can use? Yes. So the database, let's say the database is CST, and we show tables. Let's say the tables are this one: employee, select star from employee. Okay. So these are the records we inserted yesterday. And if you want to delete, update all operations, whatever it did, the same queries you can use here, and you can try. So did you try to do some exercise on this? Any doubts you got?
No, sir.
Okay. Doubt, not practiced, or no doubts?
No doubt, sir.
Okay. That's good. Okay. So this PSTMT prepared statement, we have a create statement, statement object, and prepared statement object. Both we is going to use to send a statement. I mean, the statement here in the sense means the queries to the database. Okay. But the difference between this statement and prepared statement, you already observed that a statement, when you are creating, you don't need to pass that, but you have to pass the query in the execute update method. But here, you don't need to pass that, that query to the execute update. You can pass that this query to the prepared statement, so that you can set the data. But each question mark will be like one parameter, the first, second, like this. And based on that sequence, you can set the data dynamically. Okay. This pst empty dot, so you can see the method add batch method. Can you see here? Add batch. So if you see that add batch method, so adds a set of parameters to this prepared object batch of commands. Add the given SQL command to the current list of commands for the statement object. The commands in the list can be extended as a batch. Suppose, let's say, you have 1,000 records, guys. Okay, 1,000 records. So if you want to execute 1,000 records, if you want to insert 1,000 records, you have 1,000 employees data. Okay, if you want to insert the 1,000 records, how to store, how to insert? You have to prepare the 1,000 times. Okay, so by using for loop or something, you will prepare. So once you prepare, uh, if you execute it, if you execute it, so how many times it executes, guys? Let's say this Muni only. I'm just taking here. Uh, int I equal to 0, I less than equal to 100, I plus, and let's start with 1. Okay, so this code, so what you understand here, how many times this will execute, guys? This piece of code, how many times it executes?
100 times.
100 times, right? So here, understand one thing. I'm just taking this code as well and keeping in this for loop. Okay, keeping this for loop. I created a created a prepared statement, and then I set the data and that executed. So like, so let's say this dynamically adds some name for our better understanding. Okay, so this also just for employee, this. Okay, now look at this, guys. So how many records actually, if we execute 100 times, how many records will insert in the database, guys? 100 records it will be inserted. Okay, so I'm just executing it. Executed, still working, still learning. Executed. So if you go and see the records, you have 100 records, right? More than employee 1, employee 3, something like that created, right? The records. Okay, so here there might be that kind of scenarios whenever you are doing. Okay, so that means how many times this code will like talk to database? 100 times it will talk, like, so so it will go to there and execute, go to that, like this database it will talk to 100 times. So if you want to handle this kind of scenario, you can use the batch concept. So batch concept is going to help you, like, if one are record, 2 records, you don't need to use. If you want to execute multiple records, I mean, so if you execute that here, it will take a lot of time. Work will be done, but a lot of time. Let's say we have uh, 100 bricks at one place, guys. Okay, so you want to move uh, that place to another place. Okay, so if you take one brick at at once, okay, so then for each brick to take that, so if you for one time, if you want to go, it takes 10 minutes of time. So for 100 bricks, if you take one by one, how many minutes it will take for you? Hmm? There are 100 bricks are there at one place. You have to move that bricks to one place to another place. Okay. There are, if you take one brick at a time, so you took it, you take one brick and went another place and you put there. Okay. So for that process, it take 10 minutes of time for each brick. Okay. Each brick. So for 10, for 100 bricks, how many minutes it will take?
1,000 minutes.
1,000.
1,000 minutes. 1,000 minutes. Okay. 1,000 minutes means how much time it is in hours wise? 1,000 by 60. That means 16 hours to move 100 bricks. So how many hours it took if you go in that approach?
16 hours.
16 hours. Or else if in worst case, if you take 1 minute for one brick to move that, so 100 minutes it will take, right? So 100 minutes in the case means, 1 second, 100 by 60. How many hours it will? Sorry guys. 100 by, so 1.5 hour, right? 1.6. So 1.5 hour it took. Okay. So, but at a time, instead of one break, at a time, if you take, if you take uh, 10 bricks, the time is same. I mean, to to take 100 at one brick or 10 brick, time is same. But you take 10 bricks and you moved one place to another place. So how much time it takes now for 100 bricks?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. How much time it got reduced, guys? 1.5 hour to 10 minutes. Yeah. So the same way, here 100 records you are inserting. Let's assume that for each record take 1 second. Generally, the program it will not take that much time, but milliseconds wise and seconds wise. So for each one, under 1 second, 100 seconds it has to take. Okay. So that, I mean, here in that example, it did not take that much 100 seconds time, but just assume that milliseconds wise, 1 millisecond, 100 milliseconds it will take. Okay. So, so instead of that, instead of sending one query each time, if you can send the multiple queries at a time, like in how we moved bricks, right? Instead of taking one brick at a time, if you take multiple bricks at a time, then the time will be reduced. Am I right? The same thing here. So how to do that? You know, if you want to do that, how to do that? PST empty dot add batch. So this add batch method, so what it does is it will it will it will add to the batch and execute it. But here, take it out this code and put outside of that, and I'm just modifying this code, guys. So, based on our you know uh, the requirement. So here the code is going to help you whenever you want to insert multiple records, and instead of executing for each record one time, so if you can add to the batch by with the help of this add batch method. Look at this carefully. I just created pstmt and then executed and all, and system.out.println. Here execute update method is there. So if you see that methods wise, okay, there is there is a method called, what is the method, guys? Execute batch. You can see that execute batch method. So this return type is int array. What is int array? You know, guys, list of int array. Okay. So, and I'm going to display it. System.out.println execute update. Okay. So now I'm going to run it. Okay. I'm going to run it. It executed successfully. That is the reason we got integer array object. Integer array is nothing but it will give that how many records you will have that. Okay. Okay. You see that and 105 records, 105 rows. Okay. I'm just deleting once again here the records and list. How to delete the records, guys? Delete from
From
employee.
employee.
105 rows are affected. And if you see that selection, nothing. Okay. So how many times this method executed? Execute update method, execute batch method only once. That means, so what we did here in this process is we all prepared the individually the data and we added it to the batch. So the PSTMT will take care of the batch by using this method. Just you have to call the execute batch method, then it execute, and it will return int array. That means for each query, how many rows affected, it will give you. How many rows affected, it give you. So that rows, for each query level might be for each query there is no one because if you are using update, then that case it will affect many records, right? That is the reason for each query level, I mean for each statement level, how many records got affected. So that is the reason the multiple queries we are handling, right? That is the reason they gave the integer array group of affected values. Okay. So this approach, so how it is going to help you is the time taking, like, if you are sending the queries instead of for each query, if you take at a time, I mean every time, like, for 100 queries, if you talk to database the 100 times, it takes time. So instead of that, if you can add those into the batch, like, you have 1,000 records, 100 at a time, instead of sending 1,000 records at a time, 100 at a time. So like, this is a way you can you can reduce the time, guys. Okay. So this is when we can use this batch concept, guys. Whenever you want to send multiple statements, multiple queries to the database, this is how you can send it. Just to create the prepared statement and set the data and uh, call this method. So for each case, as long as, like, you are calling, keep on all the statements, all the prepared statement with the data will be added to that. So once you done that adding, then you just call the execute batch method. So that will work for you. Okay. So now if you see that records empty, and now I'm going to execute it, guys. Execute it. So look at this. Whatever. Not created. Okay, something wrong. Okay, something wrong here. Okay, sorry, guys. So here nothing to do that, right? This is the common code, right? This is the common code. This never change. You no need to keep in loop, because will it is going to change anytime, because the query syntax, everything is same. So we don't need to, because what the mistake we did is we are always changing that. This should be outside. Okay. Because we don't need to create many times on this for this. The query will be the same. The data only we are going to say multiple times, right? Yeah. Now look at this. I'm just running it. It's working on. Still working. Still working. Now it executed. Now if you see that records are there. Can you see the records?
Yes,
First, I
sir.
will delete 1 second. Delete from employee. Deleted all the 101 records. And so what we will do is, I'm just add the time. How to check the time? Uh, okay. That is get current milliseconds, right? You can see that. So before starting of the for loop, what is the time? So we will see that. What is the time? Okay. Before starting of the, so to see that how much time it takes with the two process, without batch concept, with batch concept, how much time it took for us. So small difference, but you cannot observe that much difference here. There would be only small difference. But if you are working in the real-time projects, you can see that. Okay, this is what. And here, after completion of that execute update method, so how much time it's going to take? Uh, how much time it's going to take? System dot. Again, I have to call. This method is going to call use like system dot current time milliseconds. It will give you the how much time it takes. Okay, so this is the before starting of the for loop, how much, what is the time, and after executing, what is the time. So we can do it like this. The variable is current milliseconds is minus with the time, so that you will get the difference of the time, how much time it takes. Again, I'm going to execute it, guys. Look at this. So the time is this one, and let's see for that after executing how much time it will. So okay, this is the reverse you have to. So that means 8377 milliseconds it takes. It's milliseconds, guys. Okay, how much time it takes? 8377 milliseconds time it took to execute this code. Okay, this much time it took. This is not the seconds, it's a millisecond. Okay, so this is the how it works. And if you don't use this approach, are you getting me? If you don't use this approach, guys, if you don't use this approach, and if you use like instead of a batch concept, if you do this one normal process, okay, PSTMT, that is prepared statement dot execute. What is that execute? Uh, what is that method, guys? Execute update method. So this execute update method. So execute this one. And so this process is not going to do a batch like concept. It's an individual wise. And let's see that the execution, guys, how much time it takes. So this is the time, is starting time, and look at this. Once it got executed, so which one take more time, guys? Hmm?
Batch.
Sometimes it happens. Huh? Okay, but batch wise, it will take less time generally. I'm executing once again. So now it got changes. See that 8312, and the batch concept again we will go. That is the reason we have to deal with the huge records. Then you can understand that. Encoding. So the 8312 it take in a normal process, and now I'm changing into batch process again. And look at that. So it got some less, right? So I mean 100 milliseconds got less, some less. Look at this, how many records got inserted. There are many records. So I think four times we executed, right? 4 times, 3 times. That is the reason it got inserted 400 records. So like it's like you can use this approach whenever you need it. It's not only 100 case, like if you are dealing with the thousands of records and inserting, updating, not only for inserting, guys, updating case also, updating and deleting. So you can use the batch concept, and you can work it out. Okay. Okay. So here, if you observe that the date is deprecated, so by using that, so if you want to set the date in another constructor we have in the same SQL dot Java.sql, that is this one. That is the you can see the first one, right? This is the I don't know. Let me see, that is the part of Java.sql. Yeah, Java dot. So look at this. The Java.sql, Java.sql dot date. So a data object is there in the Java.sql is extending which class, guys? Java.util. You see that? Yeah, there is some relation they are doing here. Okay. So instead of that, if you want to pass that, there is a date handling wise. There is a class called calendar, guys. I mean, especially if you want to deal with the data, because in a real time, mostly we will have the date field data. So we will use that data calendar. So there is a calendar dot get instance method. So this get instance method is a static method. So that is the reason we are able to call this by using a class name. So this is going to help you. Sorry, this is going to help you to deal with the data object, guys. So this instance, get instance, means it will take the current system time. What is the current system time? You have that system time it will take. If you want to display that, so let's see that system.out.println instance. Okay, instance, and I'm just taking out this code out of this for loop, and I'm going to keep here. Just we'll try to understand data object, and then we will set the date instead of this year and date and time like this. Instead of that, we'll set that. Okay, let me run it, guys. Look at this. So this is how the information it contains. Okay, calendar dot get instance method. So this is nothing but it will give the current date. I mean current system date. It has all the information. What is the month, hour, and the milliseconds. With milliseconds, it can hold. That object is going to hold that current instance. Okay. So if you want instance of get of, there is a field called, there is a method. You can see the document as well. Suppose I want only the what is the time. Okay, let us say let's say this a year. Okay, that is, what is that? Okay, day of the month. So that day of the month, what is the day of the month? If you want to get the just get method, you have to pass that day of the month. So you want to know the day of the month of that. then just use that and integer which day it will give, and just display here 17th. It's showing the system date is 17. uh, it's a year's time, that's the reason it's showing still 17. Actually today is 18, right? Yeah, so 17. So it is displaying like this. You can pick many things from this date, guys, many things from this. And if you want that instance in the milliseconds, like get time, there is a get the time in milliseconds. If you want a time in milliseconds, there is a method called get time in milliseconds. Okay, get time in milliseconds. What it is going to help you is, so it's a time in milliseconds. So we have the hmm, what is that? Yeah, date object. We have the data object. Let me uncomment this. Yeah, we use the data object here, sql.date. Earlier we used by passing year, month, and date and all, right? So instead of that, you can pass this time also. So what I passed here, the current date. If I am passing current date, the time in milliseconds. Now it's not deprecated. So what is that? Let's see. I'm just commenting this one, and I'm going to use the only one. But I'm just commenting this one as well. Okay. So in this case, I'm just stopping this for loop. Okay. Or else I will made it only one. Okay. So that it will execute only once. And look at this query level. And just we are trying to understand this, guys. How to pass. I'm just deleting data object dynamically. Okay, and we'll see that input wise, if you pass your own date. Right now we are passing the current system date. If you want to pass your own date also, how to pass, we will see that. 400 records got deleted, affected. So now select start from employee. Okay, now no records are there. Now I'm just executing it, executed. So 103 milliseconds it took to execute that. Okay. So now look at the record. The date is executed or not, inserted or not. The date, that current date, the system date. Suppose you want to pass your own date, not the system date. Then how to pass? Hey, how to pass that your system, your own date? So you can still use this instance object set. Okay, so set here, set year. There is a field, right? You can see that set methods field. Which field? Field means year, month, hour, something like that. So you can set that date, you can set that, and you can pass it. You can set that and you can pass it, guys. You can pass it. Okay, let's say you have to pass uh, that 1990 January 1st. You want to that date, you want to pass. Okay, calendar dot. So year, what is the year? Year. So year field, I am just passing here 1990. So that is the 1990. And the second thing is I want to pass that month. Set calendar dot month. So where is the month? Month. Okay. So comma, and let's say 1st January. So that is what we want to pass it, right? So sorry, guys. That is what we have to pass, right? That is the date, guys, and month. And the next thing is instance dot set. Sorry, it is by default is taking C set now. So it will be more useful, guys, the date wise, because in real time, so date we are going to use extensively. If you see the many applications, you see that you see that usage is more the date wise, and we'll see all options of the date, how to use that date and all. Okay. Okay. A day of month. So I'm just adding day of month is the one. Okay, semicolon. Okay. So now I set the data, and now that I converted it the same date, but earlier before this, whenever we don't have these 3 lines of code, it is the current system time it takes. Now I supplied my own date. Okay, date and time. Sorry, date and year and month. Okay. Now I'm going to execute it once again, guys. Look at this. I'm just executing it. 66 milliseconds it took, and look at the record. Again the problem, you can see that what is the date I passed, guys. First, date is inserted correctly, year is inserted correctly, but month is inserted wrong. Is it correct? Right? Month I passed. What is the month I passed here?
1st Jan.
Yeah. So it means it is taking 0 to, not 1. 0 means what? January. 1
January.
means February. Like this. They give the description here. So then you can pass 0 here. Okay. So this is how, this is the one of the way you can pass it, guys. And so here you don't paste that minusing 1900 and all. You don't need to pay. You don't do that. So you don't need to do that. Okay. It got inserted now correctly. Look at this date. This is the one way you can pass. Let's say you have the date in this format, guys. Okay. You passed from application like this 01, 01 and 1990. This is the way you passed it. So like you have the data like this. Okay. This you got from somewhere, like, from a UI application like this, you got it. Okay. So now you have to insert this date. If you pass this directly here, if you pass this instead of this date object and all, if you pass this date directly here in the string, so what it is doing here, the date cannot be, int and date. In the type prepare statement is not, and that means it is expecting only date. You are passing string format. Even if you tried to do that directly in string, I'm just trying to and executing it. Look at this error. What is the error, guys? Date incorrect date value for column birth. So at row, that means the what is the format? I mean, what kind of what type of data you are passing? You are passing string, but actually the field is, what is the field type of that birth column, guys? So what is the field type here? The field type is date type, but you are trying to pass which type of data?
String
Which
type.
type of data? String type of data. That is the reason you are getting exception. Okay. So that you have to send in the form of date only, but you got the date like this. Generally, if you see in application, you will have this kind of options, right? You will set that and you will get it. Okay. You want to convert this thing to date object. Okay. You have the in that format. So for that, we have a class called simple date format. So which is the part of, you can see that which package it is. Look at this. Java.text package. Java.text package. Simple date format. So new, I'm just creating this class is going to help you to convert this string to date to string, that kind of way. Okay. You can have constructors, pattern, date, locale, and all. Okay, so I'm just using the pattern. So dd mm yy. So this is the pattern. I will show you the document. So this simple date format is going to help you converting one format to another format, string to date, date to string, like this. Okay. If you go and look at the document here, the document level, you go and look at the document. Guys, we are trying to understand, date conversions. Okay. So look at this. Look at this. These are all this is the class, and they gave that. So might be we'll have different formats. We will have. If you use this pattern, the date will be shown in this format. We'll see that like this, like this, like this. Okay. So like this, you can use your own format and you can convert it. They gave the example also. First, let's try to look at this. And so, what is the pattern? We are having this dd yy. So the dd means date, means month, yy means year. Okay. sdf dot okay. So whenever you want to convert date object to string, you can use it. And 1 second. See. Yeah, I'm looking for a method. 1 minute. Okay, let's see. There is a method. Yeah, we have parse method. Okay, so this parse method, for this we are going to pass this date in the format of string. Okay, so this is the parse method. So this parse method, what is the parse method is going to return, guys? Is going to return, it's going to return date object. It's going to return date object. So look at this. I'm just displaying system.out.println of this one, and I'm going to use that parse date, or else I will name it date. Date is already there, right? Okay, p date. So that means parse date. I use that. Okay, p date. Okay. Look at this. What we are trying to do. The date in the form of string in this pattern, and I'm converting that pattern to the date object. Date object. And look at the date object now. Look at this date object now. I'm just running once again. Okay, some error. What is that error? Yeah. Here you have to pass that p date. P date is, what is the p date here? So the p date, it is throwing, what is that error? Okay. So it is expecting java.sql.date, but you are passing that. We are passing here the java.util, java.util. Okay, so then convert into this date to java.sql. So how to convert it? Because this is one type of data, and that is expecting java.sql, and you are passing here. And let's say java.sql dot date. Okay, this is the date object, and sql date equal to new java dot. Why I am using fully qualified name here? Because we already having conflict. Two types are there, the same type, but which is under one package and which is under another package. Okay, a date. So now, so I have to pass this. Now p date dot get, there is a get time. There is a method called get time. So it's a millisecond. Now what I do? So I converted it. Into the SQL date. Okay. Now go here and use that S date. Now the error will gone. So we have another compilation error here. Go and see that what is happening here. So might be, you know, that whenever this method is executing, might be then one exception will occur. Just I'm throwing that error. Okay, now run it. So that it display now 98 seconds. And look at this 98, and look at this, guys. It got inserted or not? It got inserted. Now let's change into, okay, 5/9/2008. So this is the date. Just I'm passing. This is the input, and now I'm executing it. Look at this. So we got the same date, right? So what happening here in UI level, but generally in real time, we are just executing this programming level. From application, we will get this kind of format. Then you cannot directly insert this format into the database. You have to convert into data object. By using simple date format, you can convert it. Okay, so you want to see the data. This is what you can convert a string to integer string to date format, and you can pass those. And once you got the util date, but how to convert util to SQL is by using this date constructor and pass the date time, and automatically that will take care of. So like this, you can do conversions, one conversion to another conversion. So based on your requirement, but in real time, why the date format, we use the simple date format and pass that is. So generally, if you see that nobody is going to pass that, they are going to give input like this. Okay, you might get that output. So like input. So whenever we see that example, right, real time example from UI application to backend sending the data, there you feel this, how it is important to convert and all do that. Okay, so this is how the date we can convert. You can use your own date, whatever date you want to pass it. Okay, so suppose you want to reverse manner. You have already date object. Okay, you want to show your own format. So your own format, suppose you want to show that format in this format, in this format, in this format, based on your required format. You can use that by using this format options, guys. Suppose you want to see this is the way. Okay, so based on that, you can pass that patterns, and you can get it, guys. You can get it. Okay, so let's say I want to see, this is the format: Wednesday, July 1st, 4th, and July 4th, and 01, and year. This is the year. 01 is the year. You want to see that format, and I'm just taking this. Okay, so today date I want to see in that format. If you want to see in that format, how to see, look at this code. I'm just commenting all those things. and here. So simple date format, just a simple date format. I'm just creating object, simple date format. Okay. So here, what is the format you are expecting? Just I am passing here. Okay. Just I am passing here the format. I just took that format and I'm just passing that format here. That's it, guys. That's it. Okay. This is the format I'm using, and SDF dot, that is a format method. So let's say the current date only you want to see that. What is the current date? Get instance method dot get time. So this is the current date I am passing here. Current date I am passing here. Current date, and taking into here, and I'm just displaying is system.out.println the format. So what I'm doing here, this is the data object. This is the data object, guys. Don't get confused here. This is the data object which has the current date in the date format. But you want to see that in the format whichever we specified. We want to display. Might be you will see that some of the application display some format. So if you want to display how to display and all, you can check it. And I'm commenting this code as well here. Look at this, and I'm just running here. Look at this. You got the format, right? So what is the date today? And 17th August 2020. So you got that format. Whatever the format you like it, so that format you can use it, guys. That format you can use it. So that is how the simple date format is going to help us. So guys, did you understand about this? The date format conversion? I mean, string to date, date to string. String to date. One example I shown you. So this is the date and we convert into string. And earlier it was string and convert into date. Okay. So this is the two ways conversion. If the date is in the form of string format, you can convert into date object, and date format if you have, and you can convert into string. Okay. You just try to practice individually and date field, guys. Take some example and convert it and see that. Look at that, whatever the format. And you want to show this format in UI. Based on the requirement, you can use this format. And only thing is just you have to play with these methods and you will get an idea. It's nothing to confuse here, because you can see that the basic concepts already you know, that just we are trying to look at that, constructor method calling, holding the data. And these are all the things we are trying to use it. Okay. So just it's so very important, guys, because in real time, whenever doing, most of the time you will use this and try to practice this thing, date conversions and all. Okay. So once you got the date, how to pass the data object, SQL data object dynamically to the parameter, you've seen that, right? Any doubts, guys, so far?
No, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So here, if you see that SQL exception, parse exception, so throws exception, we'll go into detail on this. I think exception, I gave a small idea what is exception. That's it, I guess. So apart from that, I have not looked into more detail, right? Exceptions. Did I?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we will see that what is checked exception, unchecked exceptions and all. how to handle, I mean, SQL exception, why we, at what case we'll use throws, and if you don't use throws, how to handle, and we'll see the more detail on exceptions handling, exception handling tomorrow. On this code, same code only. I will take the same code, I mean, database code, and inserting, deleting, updating, getting the data and all. After that, uh, we will use that retrieving case. A retrieving case, once you got the record, how to keep those records in a list object or collection object, and how to use that we will see that example tomorrow. Okay, so but do practice. If you don't practice now, might be today you might feel that so yeah, I understood, but tomorrow, like, if you don't practice, so, and after days are gone, then you might forget. Okay, that's very important. If you don't practice, so you don't remember again, it looks like, that the new things for you. Okay, so you, as you already know the basic concept, nothing confusing here, because every code you can see what we discussed in the fundamentals. Only thing is just we are trying to use our ideas how to do the better ways, and we are doing. Okay, as you already know the fundamental, so it's easy to understand this code as well, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so be active and thoroughly practice, and if you get any doubts, get back to me. Okay, so maybe 1 or 2 classes I will complete this core Java level, maybe uh, by this weekend or somewhere, and then we will start the servlet programming. Few more classes I will spend on core Java. So then we will go and discuss about servlet, and there you can see that the application, a real web application, like, you see that many applications in market, right? So you can see that how to put the data, get the data and all, how the operations will happen, how the request will go on browser. So today just you will use this codestream.in, the request gone and came, you got this output, how it happened. So that all the things you will going to understand in the, I mean, I'm going to explain that web application concept, by servlet concept. Okay, so might be we'll spend few more days, be thoroughly practice on the core Java level. Might be by this weekend I will try to complete the core Java concepts, what are the pendings we have,
Okay, sir.
along with the theories. Yeah, okay guys, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.